Up 182 now. We were up over 200, but we'll take 182, 24,834. This is all about the tax cut. We are likely to get a signing. We hear on Christmas Eve, up she goes. That's
Merry
the market.
Christmas.
28 of the Dow 30 are now on the upside. Check the big tech names. All of them on the upside. Not that much, but Amazon's got the best gain. That's up 14 bucks. They've got a prediction that it goes to $1,300 a share. How about this one? Healthy snack maker. It's called Amplify Snack Brands. Hershey's offered $1.6 billion for them. Amplify makes skinny pop popcorn. It's up 70%. Twitter is up. JP Morgan likes its product improvements and thinks that Twitter will make money next year, up 8% and now reaching $24 per share. Campbell Soup plans to buy Snyder's Lance for 50 bucks, $4.9 billion deal. I bet you've never heard of them. Snyder's Lance makes Snyder's pretzels and Cape Cod potato chips.
Delicious.
She got that word in. Campbell Soup makes Campbell Soup.
Delicious, too.
Correct again. Bitcoin futures trading began Sunday afternoon on the CME. Todd Horowitz, he's BubbaTrading.com kind of guy. He joins us now. Look, I think it's a bubble. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but you're a trader kind of guy. Would you trade in and out of this thing?
Good morning, sir. Of course I would trade it. As long as there's liquidity, traders are going to trade. It doesn't really matter what the product is. It is a bubble. I would agree with you there that it's a bubble, but I do believe it's going to be a real product that is going to be part of the economy going forward. And the economists that stand up and call it a bubble right now are nuts because they won't call a stock market a bubble in 08 until 10 years later. They wouldn't call it a bubble in 99, but they want to call this a bubble because they don't understand it. But it's really just another form of a currency that you can trade for something.
Okay. How about leverage? Now, with lots of commodities, I can put $10 down, and that controls $100 worth of the product, whether it's wheat or soybeans or whatever. But that's not true of Bitcoins, is it? You've got to put a ton of money down to control 5 Bitcoins.
The Bitcoin is much different because, of course, the exchanges are afraid of it. And when you trade through a licensed exchange, your money is guaranteed. So they don't want to take a chance. So right now, if you're going to day trade, you're going to have to come up with 50% margin, which is let's say $10,000 per Bitcoin. Or if you want to carry it overnight, you're going to have 125% of margin. So you're going to have to buy it plus to be able to trade it overnight. So it's a much bigger deal. And that's until they get some real solid liquidity. They traded 900 contracts so far since they opened last night. And just to give you a comparison, the S&P trades over 1 million contracts a day.
Okay, can I lose everything and more? If I put down $125,000 to control that contract overnight, can I actually lose more than $125,000?
Yes, you can. Anytime you're dealing with margin, you can lose a lot more than you put up. You get what we call margin calls. You know, the Duke brothers margin calls. You got to be able to come up, and that's what happens in these markets when people get too leveraged up. They then have to get these calls, and that's what drives these markets wild back and forth when you see major margin calls happening. And you can't have that. We saw Bitcoin, go from 15,000 to 19,000 last week. If somebody had been short that, they'd be getting margin calls right now, and that would create havoc in the market.
So long as we know the risks, it's plain and simple, we understand it. All right, Todd, thanks very much for joining us.